Hello, future engineers. Today we are going to be working on designing our trusses inside of Inventor. So how we do this is a little bit different from how we have done other design projects in the past. So let's get into Inventor. We are going to start by drawing basically a wireframe, so just basic lines, and then we're going to use an insert frame tool in a later video to actually create our bridge. So what we want to do is just design our truss and then how they connect. And this is a little bit different. Like I said, it's different from how we typically go about modeling. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch, and I'm going to choose this YZ plane to start my sketch. I'm going to be using all of the requirements that we have over here. So I'm going to make it 15 inches in length, a depth of 2.5, and its height will never exceed 6 inches. So over here, let's go and draw a line. This is going to be our baseline over here, and we're going to make this 15. So that is our total span of our bridge. Now I'm also going to offset that line up. This distance, we could go as high as 6 inches, but I'm going to go about 4.5. That's just the design that I have chosen. Then I'm going to take a line from this end, draw it up over here until it connects, and then take a line from over here and draw until it connects. Now you should be using your own design for this, so it's okay if yours looks different. This is just going to be the standard process. It's going to be more important once we go to adding other trusses into this design. So let's start. I'm going to dimension this over here at 60 degrees, and I'll do the same thing over here, making that 60 degrees as well. Sweet. Then I am going to trim out the extra over here and throw in my next line this way. That line's just gonna stick right there, but I'm going to dimension the distance between those at a distance of 5. That will make us 3 triangles long at the bottom over here, and then 2 up top, because we'll have 5, 5, 5 spanning the whole 15. So I'll take another line, bring it up here. There's going to be a midpoint already. Bring this line down to here, and then we can also just bring this line right there. So now throwing in another dimension to this point and just chaining these dimensions together, I can throw this one in at 5, and you can see I have my full truss completed. This is where it gets a little bit trickier. I'm going to finish the sketch. And if you remember from Intro to Engineering Design, we never want to extrude or we never want to start a new sketch if we haven't extruded the last one, but we're not extruding this sketch. So this is where it gets a little bit different. I'm going to go back into my origin folder over here, and I am going to start drawing my next, my base for my truss. So I'm going to go on and highlight my XY plane, and this is where I'm going to draw my base. So I'll start a 2D sketch on this plane. I'm going to go from the origin over here, and I'm going to send this back that distance 2.5. And now we have just one beam that goes across over there. Now, if I want to place a point or a line starting at the point over there, when I go to here, it doesn't snap to anything immediately. So we're going to use this tool right here called Project Geometry. With that selected, I can choose this point, and now I have a point that I can draw a line from. So that gives me this line that I can draw up, also a distance of 2.5, and there we go. That's the start to our drawing. Now I'm not going to draw in the last part over here because we're actually going to get that from our first truss. But what I am going to do is throw rungs all the way across here using a pattern tool. So this rectangular pattern will allow me to select a certain geometry and project it all the way across. Now we don't have a direction, just like we didn't have a point to draw, so we need to project that baseline across again. So I'm actually just going to take a line tool and make it a construction line and have that go all the way across over here. Now that will actually give us something that we can use to pattern. So the geometry I want to repeat is this, and then I'm going to select this to choose my direction. So I'll use that construction line that I just made. And right now we're having 2 of those geometric shapes spread 1 inch apart. I'm going to keep the distance as 1 inch in between each of these, but we want to have 15 instances of that, so that there are 15 that repeat it. And remember, there should be 16 because we'll have a distance at 0 over here, and this one will be the 15th that we have made, so 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way up. Almost like counting in binary. Here we go. That now creates that pattern over there. We can go back to this, and now our truss is starting to come together. It's still not exactly there. So what I want to do is actually take this truss design and project it over onto this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a work plane. I'm going to choose my offset from plane. I'm going to go back into my origin folder, and I'm going to offset my YZ plane back, so that is a negative 2.5. And now we have a plane that we can project everything right onto there. But instead of projecting it, I'm just going to right click and copy this sketch, go to my work plane, and I'm going to paste my sketch right on there. Super easy, super easy. Now the last thing that we have to do is we have to throw in these cross beams that go up top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide the visibility of that. It's a little bit easier to see. And now I want to start a sketch on a plane that I offset 4.5 up. So again, I'm going to offset a plane. I'm going to go on my XY plane over here. I'm going to offset this a distance a 4.5. There we go. Now, I want to start a sketch on this, but when I do, I'm going to have that same problem that there's no points that I can start to work on. None of them snap anywhere, except for the origin. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate to the side over here. I'm going to grab my project geometry tool, and I'm going to project the points at the top of each of these vertices. Then those points will allow me to draw a line across from point to point, and then another line from point to point, and a last line from point to point. I can finish my sketch. I can turn off the visibility of this work plane. I can also go through and turn off the visibility of the dimensions that are on these sketches, just to give me a better idea of what it will look like when I am all done. So there we go. That's my truss. It's a pretty simple basic truss, and you can use this strategy with any design, but we want to design it like this because when we place all of our beams in at the end, we don't want anything extruded. So this is a good part and a good stopping point. So thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you later. Bye.